When the 2.0 update dropped, it gave us a ton of quality of life updates that we'd been waiting for quite a while, including some that were unexpected too. Even before the 2.0 update, the game itself has focused on giving us quality of life improvements that weren't there in past Animal Crossing games, really streamlining the Animal Crossing experience. Despite all of that though, there is one highly requested quality of life update that Nintendo never added to the game, and I'm not talking about bulk crafting. What's even more interesting is that technically this feature is in the game, Nintendo has just hid it. So let's take a look at exactly what this is. It's no secret that many players of the game aren't a huge fan of certain instances where you're forced to read a lot of dialogue and you can't really escape from it. For the longest time, Isabelle's announcements were like this, and they did get improved a little bit in 2.0, but there's still probably a lot of people who do feel this way after seeing them every single day. We also can't forget about the endless dialogue you get when going to the airport and all the cutscenes that you have to experience when you go online and want to join up with other players. Now, some of this is inevitable, however, what if there was a skip button that could allow you to skip some of these more unnecessary cutscenes in the game? Well, as it turns out, this feature actually exists. It is in the game, but it only appears once, which is really strange, and you might not even remember where you've seen it. Well, when you decide to start up a new Animal Crossing island, whether you're restarting or playing for the first time, once you've completed filling in the information for your character and just before you arrive on the island, you'll actually get a little cutscene which introduces you to island life. As far as I know, with maybe the exception of some of the newer Happy Home Paradise stuff, this is the only place in the game where you have a skip button and you can completely skip out the cutscene if you choose to. This feature works great and it's super convenient, but sadly it is not implemented in some other places where we would definitely like to see it. For example, for those who maybe are tired of seeing Isabelle's announcements and don't really feel like they need to read them every single day, this would be a really great feature to implement and would allow players to skip it easily. This is something that players of Splatoon, who has a lot of the same developers for Animal Crossing, have also wanted with their little cutscene at the start of the game, which is very similar as well, but it isn't something that Nintendo has ever implemented so far. We also can't forget about all of the dialogue at the airport as well. It's not so much a cutscene, but still having a skip button which allows you to get through all the regular text and just get straight to the point would be really nice. I don't think it would be possible for Nintendo to allow us to skip the airplane cutscenes. They're in place for a reason, as that's when it's connecting you to the internet, and it's basically just trying to make things look a little bit more interesting whilst you wait. That being said though, in future Animal Crossing games, I really hope they streamline the online experience, as it definitely wasn't the best in New Horizons. The reason why I think they haven't implemented this skip button in other places across the game is most likely because they want you to take your time with things and not really skip through the game at a fast pace. We know that Animal Crossing is a fairly slow-paced and relaxing game, so this makes sense. That being said though, after you've seen these certain cutscenes 1,000 different times, I think it's pretty fair to assume that players are gonna want to be able to skip them if they would like to. Those who don't want to skip them wouldn't have to, and they could still enjoy them as usual. But for those of us who are just so used to these cutscenes and don't feel like the characters have anything new for us to say, it would be kinda nice to skip forward. This skip feature which we see at the start of the game isn't like bulk crafting where it isn't in the game at all and it's kind of just a pipe dream. The functionality is in the game. Of course, it might have to work a little bit different for Isabelle's announcements and such, since those aren't strictly cutscenes. But consider this, you can go and skip a cap and boat ride by spamming the B button, and that's just a lot of dialogue. So why can't you skip Isabelle's announcements or the Dodo dialogue if you'd like to? Now don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with dialogue in video games. In fact, I wish there was more dialogue for villagers. But when you've seen the same dialogue again and again and again, hundreds and hundreds of times, I think it's perfectly reasonable to want to skip that. It's like if you were doing a boss battle and you just kept losing again and again and again, but the boss was Isabelle. You'd want to skip. It's basically just like that. The reason why I even noticed this is the fact that I was starting up a test island on my second Switch, as I'm going to be live streaming me making a new island over on YouTube soon, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you think a skip button would be good for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and in what instances do you think this button would be most valuable? Are there any other quality of life updates, maybe aside from bulk crafting, that you would like to see in the game? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing New Horizons videos. If you made it to the end, then be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know that you did. I want to say thank you to these channel members for supporting me and the content that I make here. Their contributions allow me to keep making videos. If you want to support these videos and get some great perks for doing so, like access to our members only Discord, exclusive Bob emojis and live streams, and much more, then click the join button down below the video or the link in the description.